What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here at the... Did I say Splattycat right there? I think I said Splattycat. I must be feeling extra jovial. But anyways, my name is Splattercat, and we are here at the Nerd Castle with the next episode of Mount and Blade Warband. In the previous episode, I had been a little bit worried because Vaegirs had declared war on us, and so we're actually at war with the two biggest factions simultaneously right now. Now, we had given Nords a nice good whooping. We had left that ass nice and red and raw and sent them backpacking, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about them coming around very much in the near future, but dealing with the first assault from Vaegirs might be one of those interesting predicaments that we find ourselves in, which might change the trajectory of the game. And so what we're going to be doing now for this episode is we're just going to be doing a little bit of patrolling. Now, once we handle our patrol and making sure that we don't get raided too heavily, what we'll then go on to do is, after we've kind of knocked them all back, we've taken them and we have repulsed them with our smell and also with our terrible manners and obviously our pretty terribly disgusting teeth as well. I can't assume that anyone in Calradia probably has amazing dentation. I've got to figure that they're pretty snaggle-toothed, as I would assume most people were in medieval times. However, once we leave them ragged, raw, and no longer wanting to fight, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of their lands and see if there's anything in there that we want to reappropriate for our lovely selves, because I like to be positive about things. So you've got to sneak your compliments in. Sometimes you've got to make the compliment as a part of just your overall diatribe. So I was already talking about beating up the enemy, but you know what? Self-confidence, real fast, just to make sure that Mad Dog McGriddle doesn't get upset, run around crying, and basically being unusable for the remainder of the episode. Now, there is one of our Nordic friends trying to ride through my territory, so let's go ahead and handle him. We've also got a couple of guys from Vaegirs riding around. I don't know how this is going to go down. Let's go ahead and go to Tizmir. And once we run him off, we'll go ahead and we'll handle all of those Vaegir guys. I will say this only once, Jarl Radaun. Surrender or die. God, he looks like he has had way too much Botox, or like his Botox ended and his face just melted downwards. He's got like a weird... Definitely appears as though he's like the human variant of a pug dog. Anyways, before I continue to insult my enemy too much, let's just get on the field and do this thing before I lose interest. Let us fly. Let us destroy. Let us break wind together, my friend. No, that's not what I was going for. I was going to say ride the wind, and then break came out, so I suppose I must be feeling a little bit puffed at the moment. I must be feeling as though I've drank too much caffeinated soda. But it's alright. It's alright. We'll just ride on out and make sure that... I think we're probably not even going to bother with formations. I think the vast majority of my force right now is made up by guys on horses, so we may as well just kind of... Ooh, off with his head. How awesome was that? I didn't even think that was going to work, but it totally did. And I love it when a plan comes together. What could be better than a tactical horse jumping that comes out alright? Oh, that was mine. I wanted him. I wanted him as though he had bought me a nice dinner. And unfortunately, you took him from me, you terrible, terrible sloot. Oh, well, what can you do? Sometimes you lose a man. That's just the way it goes, ladies. You go. All the single ladies, fist in the air. I know how it goes. Sometimes you lose the man. And that's all you can do about it. This guy in the flowery if I could aim, that would have worked a little bit better. Apparently, my aim has not gone so well. Why are you guys swinging at nothing? I'm a little bit confused about all of the random pumping of fists and swinging of swords that's going on. We're not even in the middle of the enemy, and they're just like, man, there's nothing to swing at, but we'll just come up with something. It'll be perfectly fine. Believe you me. So we lose anybody? Absolutely no casualties. Could not have had a better battle. And so, the bitter battle that was better for us, they want us to sell them Ryak. We will accept the offer, because obviously we can't afford to keep... kind of bringing people around with us. We've had a lot of hangers-on lately. Well, boss, at last I found you. I have returned to say Kirky Kanate. He's unwilling to conclude a peace. Yeah, whatever. He's a dick. He's gonna get rode out on if he doesn't take the peace soon. I'll let you know that right now. Oh, Falsever. Falsever, guess what's about to happen? Oh, you made it back into the castle like the little punk you are. How about you run away, Falsever? Oh, you messed up now. You've been cut off. You've been cut off. So now we shall teach... Oh, we have 265 men. Did somebody join my... Oh, they did. Awesome. I love it when Gurlad happens to be in an opportune area when I go into battle. Nothing like an opportunistic Gurlad. That seems like a weirdly specific thing. Like, have you ever heard of an opportunistic Gurlad? That's got to be the first time in my entire life, and yet I'm talking about it as though it happens all the time. I don't know anybody named Gurlad, and if I did, I would be like, that is super awesome. Your parents must love Mount and Blade Warband, which leads me to believe that I might like your parents as well. We should probably hang out at your house. Talk to your mom a little bit. But anyways, let's kill off some of these Hey, stop shooting at my knights, man. Stop shooting at my knights. Whew. I prefer my knights to be unshot for right now. I mean, I've had a lot of knights that were completely and totally shot before, but that was completely and totally in a different sense. They weren't shot literally. If my knight had ever been shot literally, I doubt I would be on YouTube right now. I mean, I would have an extensive hospital stay if my knight had been shot, but, you know, whatever. We're gonna walk away from it. Just, I give up, call back your dogs. Yeah, well, you're my prisoner now. Sucks to be you. Give me all of your goodie baskets. Now, it does appear as though we are a little bit low on food, which makes me think that I should probably track some down pretty soon. I mean, we got a lot of bread and stuff, and our morale is okay. So I think we'll probably be okay. We've got maybe like 11... Tizmir, of course. Somebody always messing with Tizmir over here. Oh, somebody's engaged in battle. Someone who can't handle it either. I'm going to jump in on this. Surrender or die, fool. All the single ladies shall be shouted under the heavens, and when you hear our cry, you shall raise your panoply, but it shall save you not. Our bolts shall fly through your armor. I'm trying to be literary right now, but I just wanted to use the word panoply. Panoply. That's a great word. That's one of those words that you never hear, but I think people should use it more. I think every time when I put on a shirt later on, if I could stop stuttering for a second, I didn't realize I had that problem until just now. But anyways, if I could ever stop stuttering, I was gonna say, every time I put on a normal t-shirt from now on, like a whatever, you know, like an undershirt or whatever, but like I have my panoply of cotton, ready for battle. Slash that guy in the head, maybe just a little bit. Just a tiny slashing, not too much of a slashing, because if you over slash your enemy, they have the tendency to just kind of be chafed against you. They don't really like it. They don't like to be slashed too much, but if you can slash them just enough, it's kind of like making a cake just perfectly moist. Exact same concept. You've got to get it to that point where it's perfectly slashed. Otherwise, you over slash it, and then nobody ever wants to take part in one of your slashings ever again. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. Now, in terms of our long-term plans, and I realize I just used the word term way too much, the term in which I should use the word term has been overtermed, but anyways, I think that our plans for the future right now, we really just have to play defense for a bit, because we do have a couple of lords. I think we're up to 6 lords now. We have a lot of people who are swearing fealty to me. I am in your jet for free me, of course you are. And so Mathilde has us up to 50 with her renown, which is very, very nice. We're going to let her go. We're also going to take in, oh, we can't. How very, very disappointing. Well, I suppose we'll just keep it where it's at for right now. I mean, I would like to take in some of those veteranos, but unfortunately, there's no space. Our company just can't be large enough. Our company is very, very small. It's very much indie right now. We like to talk about how original we are and how we don't have a big budget. Like, we always use the word indie if we can help it. And so, I think that's everybody. No, there's still a couple more. Never mind. Well, I suppose I'll run down everybody then. Let me make sure that everybody's upgraded in our party first, though, because that was one of the big initiatives that I've been starting off, is making sure that all of our soldiers... I had been on a recruiting spree recently, so we're going to ride out on Vlan, and as soon as we get rid of Vlan and we get him out of our territory, we will go ahead and swing back south to help out whoever it was that was trailing around behind us. I have to assume that maybe it was Gurlad that was hanging out with us. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with hanging out with Gurlad. He's one of those guys that always brings the dank bud. So you never mind having him around. Sometimes you worry that you might be using up too much and that he wants you to, like, pay him or something. You know, you don't want to be that guy that when it's puff, puff, pass. Oh, God. Way too many javelins flying around right now. So I guess I'll wait for them to run out of javelins before I do anything else. I'm not so interested in having myself penetrated right now. When the mood strikes me, it should be alright, but right now, not in the mood. Not in the mood. Headaches, toothaches, hungry, whatever you want to say. Simply not in the mood for any javelins right now. So that battle was over quickly. We will capture him. No deaths, so unfortunately we can't capture anybody. But it should all be alright. And I will jump in on Clargus's battle right here, because I am interested in making sure. I think that once you get people's renown, or I'm sorry, people's reputation with you up to like the 50-ish range, there's a really, really low chance that they will ever defect. Like, they should be happy with just about everything you do from there. It's difficult to whittle through that much reputation, so if we can get people there by helping them out in battle and making sure that they don't get captured, then I think that's going to be the way that we are going to accord ourselves properly within the confines of our alliance with Clargy Boy. Ooh, and 40 damage right there. I was hoping I would hit him a little bit harder. This appears to be a fairly elite troop. Lots of guys in here who have pretty heavy armor and seem to be gilded for bear, I suppose. Like, gelded for bear. God, that would suck. Alright, everybody line up and get gelded to bear. Be like, "Ugh, I don't like this army." This army has rapidly gone from a normal, just kind of boring marching experience to, oh man, we lost a skirmisher. That's weak. Hate it when I lose my skirmishers. And that knight caught it from behind. Sometimes it's your turn, you just never know. But as I was saying, being gelded for battle as opposed to gilded for battle seems like it might suck. It seems like that's one of those long-term solutions to a really, really short-term problem. How are we still losing men? Like, they have nothing. They are sitting around dying in droves. I always thought that that would be a good thing. Like, you've got races. Like, you know how when you have, like, a pride of lions or a gaggle of geese? I always thought that if you have a group of races, it should be called a drove of races, because it's kind of wordplay. I mean, it only works for car races, but, you know, I feel like we could kind of talk everybody into using it like multi-purpose style. Hire a footman right there, some cracked platey boots. That's pretty cool. I might actually give those to somebody. Anybody need some plate boots? Plate boots? Anybody? I think Fartimeter needs some plate boots. So, he's got some battered male chowsies. So we'll give him the plate mail boots. There we are. They're a little bit cracked, but it's not too bad. It's mostly just their conversational choices don't make a whole lot of sense. They seem to jump in between characters every now and again. They're severely schizophrenic, but still, I think they'll do their job. Luckily, our local goods merchant appears to have some things that he would give to us at a reasonable price. I mean, we need a lot more than he has, but the smoked fish, at least it's something to help our morale stay kind of straightened out. I'll take everything because we are fighting a lot of battles, so the chances of our morale just kind of tanking at the moment, pretty low, but what do we have remaining? Everybody appears to be scraping by. They're not at bare minimum troops, but they are kind of beat up at the moment. I do think that we could probably take something else from the Nords if we wanted to get a bit risky and just kind of fly into their territory for a second. So let's have a look and see what they've got. Sambuha's under attack by this dude over here. So Kurnias we're going to have to beat up. And once we've got him taken down, I'm going to go take a look at Kura. We're also going to take a look at some of the castles that are up in the northern hemisphere type area and see if there's anything that's just kind of a target for opportunity. Anything that we could take just with me and Gurlad, just our two armies would be kind of favorable. And then we can gift that off to somebody else and make sure that we have a lot of lords to kind of patrol our lands and make sure that we don't have to play guard duty as much as we have in the past. Because I always feel like we get stuck doing like the little kind of lame guard duties. Did you get taken out by getting stabbed in the face? Like, how did that happen? You really shouldn't be losing to like tier 1 troops when you're in when you're in banded mail. It's kind of one of those disappointing situations where one of these little guys right here traded up majorly, and so you lost a huge high tier troop to one of their skirmishers, and you're like, damn it. In the spirit of Hearthstone trading up. But anyways, just another mundane battle taken care of. And he's going to be my prisoner as well. So we've got Rias, Falsever, Vlan, and Kurnias. So we should have a lot of money coming to us pretty soon if the enemy decides to pay up. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just allow the little dudes just to sit around in your inventory for long periods of time. And I find that in those situations, it's a little lackluster. Like, everybody likes to get paid out for their efforts and kind of, you do a lot of hard work while you're out and about in the kingdoms of Calradia. So unfortunately, when things like this happen, you end up sitting around on lords for too long, and you'll forgive me as I kind of dither here and attempt to fix my microphone, which has decided to be very, very loose and just fall over. Must have had a date this weekend. So anyways, Ismarala Castle is at 106. We could easily take Ismarala right now if we wanted to rally the troops. And so I think I will declare myself as the marshal, and we'll see if we can take over Ismarala really quickly, unless Kura is undefended. If Kura is undefended, we'll take a look at that. It's 325, so no, it is definitely not undefended. The Slezg they've got a lot of knights in there, so I think that's probably a bad idea. Let's go ahead and laying waste to Tizmir one more time. And Bulaban is now being hit. So we do have a lot of things to handle. Sanjar Khan is here. And so we are going to fight Sanjar Khan to the end, although he may get... No, it doesn't look like he did. I was a little... Oh, good, he didn't get his tactical advantage. Awesome, 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 awesome. I didn't realize we were fighting next to a village now. So this battle could be a little bit chaotic. We want to make sure that since we have so many horsemen, we're not going to be able to fight this like a normal battle. So archers, take that hill. I don't know if there are any of you just yet. And we're going to send in the cavalry. And we'll also allow a lot of the little infantry units to get in there and kind of create a distraction. I'm not going to put my shield down at the moment because they are in a skirmishing phase. Skirmishing phase can be a little bit dangerous for a horseman, simply based on the fact that the game uses speed calculations to determine how much damage you take. So if you're riding at speed and somebody manages to clip you, you can get yourself into trouble there. This battle is actually coming out a lot more evenly than I would hope. This may be one of those battles where we just kind of pick our ground and really kind of endeavor to hope. New enemies have now arrived, okay. I hate how that happens, like how it just stops your horse, even though the spear didn't even touch my horse, it was just me running into him. For whatever reason, they've created like a thing where if you have your spear cocked back, it automatically stops a horse, like you don't have to aim well or anything. Let's see if I can get a couple of these dudes here. My own horsemen would stop getting in the way. God, I hate other cavalrymen. The AI cavalry are so stupid, it drives me crazy. So now what I need to see are a couple more deaths over here. I'm going to draw the fire. We're going to ride back around these houses. And as we come around, let's go ahead and have everybody regroup, because I don't feel like we're in a good spot right now. I would like the very few archers who have zoned in. Let's go ahead and regroup our forces and figure out what we have on the field right now. We haven't reinforced yet from what I can tell, so that is a good thing that they've reinforced twice and we haven't reinforced once. Simultaneously, though, they may not have zoned in with any of their real units yet. And I would prefer... got him. Okay. Each time we make a pass at these Sarenids. And Sarenids have different mating rituals than we do. Like, making a pass at a Serenid is a little bit different than making a pass at a Swadian. Kind of similar to making a pass at a Rodok, although they definitely have the ability to unleash some bolts of fury there if they're feeling particularly persecuted. You don't want to be too aggressive. With a Serenid, you've got to woo them a little bit. It takes a bit more effort. And this battle should be over very shortly. I think you only reinforce twice per round of combat, so I think we've basically managed to run off Sanjar Khan. If we can get him out of our land, it's a big deal, because he is a major, major issue for which we need a giant hanky tissue. And so there's a fight done. We'll see how the next bout goes. 22 men in exchange for... Yikes. So... didn't go as well as I would have hoped. He's probably going to make a gamble for Qden, I would think. What's going on over here? Farmers are getting beat up? Okay. So... I don't really want to fight with him anymore. We can take him, but it's going to be very, very costly, is the stipulation that I'd like to make right there. It's not that I don't think we can win. It's that at the moment, I'm trying to make sure that we don't deplete too much of our forces handling any one threat. If we can just kind of curb him, like beat him up one time and then wander off to do something else, then that works out as well. And now that I have him separated from his lord, that's one less guy to have to worry about. Tizmir has finished being raided. So our lands are being hit pretty hard. Luckily, the AI seems to confuse just raiding your lands for actually doing anything. So our lands getting raided does hurt us monetarily, but it's not so bad in accordance with the overall campaign. It should be perfectly survivable. Who's up in my territory? Kramuck. I'm going to go ahead and run him down then. Just to make sure that no further foolishness happens inside of our own territory. It's interesting, none of the factions are willing to make peace with us right now, which is a little bit of a weird thing because our right to rule is very, very high, and if you don't know, almost everything in the game is dictated by right to rule. Our right to rule, I think, is almost maxed out. It's almost 100, which means that everybody basically thinks that we should be the Empress. It just hasn't happened yet. Like, even kings and things would be hard to argue with 100 right to rule. Get rid of a horse if you can't get rid of a character, because a unhorsed enemy is an enemy who has lost a lot of his tactical prevalence, or a lot of his tactical superiority. And this fight should be just about, hey, what's up, pal? Just kind of pile in here. What's up? Oh, you guys are everywhere. All over the place. Like a terrible, terrible cup of spilled apple juice. I love apple juice. Apple juice is one of them things I never grew out of. Apple juice is fantastic. Although, you can graduate to like hard ciders and things, I suppose, but meh. Meh. Whatever. Is anybody remaining? We have one guy running down the hill over here who needs to be taken care of, and so we will give him the utmost care. You missed, man. I made weight so that you could give it a shot, and then you missed. And you made me feel foolish for kind of ducking and covering. Gotta make your spear stabs. If I give you the right of way, horsemanship is a... There's not a whole lot of highway rules here in Calradia, but if I give you the right of way, you damn well better make sure that spear hits. Another capture. I will take the cash for the lord that they are offering. Did Qdan get hit by somebody? I feel like Qdan got hit by somebody. I feel like the garrison is a lot smaller than it used to be. Either way, I'm going to throw everybody into my dungeons, so I don't have to worry about it right now. You sort of have a lot of prisoners. I was thinking about whether or not it was worth it to kind of spend my time doing a little bit of a resource run trying to get some money, but we'll do it after all these battles and things are over. I think I'm going to put all of my marksmen back in. And we'll kind of deal with some of this stuff as it goes. I mean, sometimes it's like, what are you going to do? We're engaged in such a major war right now that it's a tad scary having to think about leaving any of my troops behind, but we've been doing pretty well so far, so you know what? I think we can handle it. I'm going to break the episode off here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Mount & Blade Warband. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode, and don't mind what's happening right here. This is just one of those quick and dirty throwaway battles that I don't think you guys are interested in anyways. I'll see you guys right after this battle ends, after we run Ryak off, because we have to prove to him that he is not as cool as he thinks he is. He thinks he's too cool for school, but in fact, he is not. He is absolutely about on par for as cool for school as you need to be. So anyway, see you guys in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.